Hello and welcome to this video on how to use JMP Pro for statistical mediation analysis. My name is Geiser. I'm an instructor and statistical consultant with QuantFish. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can run an analysis of indirect effects or statistical mediation using the JMP software. JMP is spelled JMP, and it has a great module for structural equation modeling in general. As part of that module, one of the things that it does is path analysis, and also it allows for a pretty much automated analysis of statistical mediation models, and that's what I want to show you in this video. I have other videos on this channel where I demonstrate other features of that structural equation modeling module in JMP, so check those out as well. So let's get started here, and let's first of all open a data file. You can see that I already have a set of random, or not random, but recent files that I have already used in JMP, and so I can open from there. If you don't have a file or not the right file here at that point, you can go to File and then Open, and you can browse your computer for a data file. JMP allows you to open databases in a variety of formats, including SPSS files, Excel spreadsheets, or simple text files. Here, in this case, I'm going to use a simple text file named mediation.txt. So I'm going to double click to open this file, and then a data window opens where I can see my variables. In this case, it's a simple path analytic model with three variables, x, m, and y. And so those variables can then be used in my mediation analysis. Where do we find that? We go to Analyze and then Multivariate Methods, Structural Equation Models. When we click on that, the first thing that we have to do is select variables from our database for the analysis. In this case, I'm going to use all three variables, x, m, and y, and I'm going to click them over into this field model variables, which obviously are required to be numeric. So x, m, and y are in there. Now, if you have a grouping variable and you want to run this as a multi-group analysis, you can do so by adding the grouping variable to the groups field here. This is optional, so you don't have to do that. In this case, I don't have a multi-group analysis, so I'm not gonna do that. Also, you can add weight variables here, for example, and you can choose the estimation method. The default is maximum likelihood or full information maximum likelihood if you have any missing data. You can also select maximum likelihood with robust inference in cases where you have non-normal data. If you forget to do that here, no problem. You can still do that later on in your analysis window. You can switch to a robust analysis there as well. So let's move on and let's click on OK so that we get to our diagram window. In the diagram window, we can specify our mediation model as a path diagram. And you can see that our three variables are already shown here in the diagrammer. So we could now go ahead and we could add our path coefficients or paths to this path diagram. However, there's a simpler way to do that that automates this process nicely, and you can find that for a mediation model under Model Shortcuts, Cross-Sectional Classics, Mediation Analysis. So we click on that, and then we can select our exogenous variable, which here is called the causal variable. So that's x. The mediator variable here is m. The outcome variable here is y, and you could have multiple mediation. So if you had more variables, then you could activate this option multiple mediation, and then you can select additional effects using this dialog window. Now, after we're done, we can click on OK, and then the path diagram is automatically drawn. There's a path from X to Y, that's the direct effect C prime. There's a path from X to M, so that's the A path. And then there's a path from M to Y, which is the B path. So those will be estimated. Now, before we do that, we can check the identification status of the model, which is nice. By clicking here on status, you can see our model passes all 3 relevant identification rules here. So it is going to work. Obviously, this is actually a saturated model because all 3 paths here are estimated. So there shouldn't be any issues with this model. But this is useful when you have more complex path models or structural equation models with latent variables, which you can also specify in JMP Pro. And then you can check that the model is actually identified or that it passes at least the theoretical identification rules. So then we can go back to our diagram and we can click on Run to get the output. Then you find, first of all, model fit statistics at the top, the parameter estimates on the left-hand side, and the path diagram with estimates imported into the diagram here on the right-hand side below the fit statistics. You can see the model is saturated, it has 0 degrees of freedom, and therefore the fit statistics in this case are not meaningful. They would only be relevant if you had a model with positive degrees of freedom, where in the model you don't estimate all possible direct effects between variables. In the path diagram, we can see the unstandardized solution. Notice that JMP uses color coding for positive and negative coefficients. Negative coefficients are in red font. Positive coefficients are in blue font, and so the A coefficient here is negative and therefore red. Also the C prime coefficient is negative and therefore printed in red, and the B path is positive, therefore printed in blue, and so are the variances and residual variances that are also provided in the diagram. Notice these estimates are unstandardized. If you want the standardized path coefficients, you can right click on the diagram, go to show estimates, and then standardize, and then this switches over to standardized estimates, which here you can see they're pretty sizable for all 3 paths. Now, if you want to learn more about the coefficients, including their standard errors and p-values, then you can go to the left-hand side where we have all those things in table form. You can see here estimates are provided for all parameters of the model, including means and intercepts, regression or path coefficients, and also variances. Again, these come in unstandardized form by default with standard error, z-statistic, and p-value. If you want the standardized estimates in the table, you can click here at the top and you can go to standardized parameter estimates, and then those will also be provided in a separate table below the unstandardized parameter estimates. What you can also get are confidence intervals using the options here. So those are useful also for looking at how precise the estimates are. So those are nice to look at. And of course, with the mediation model, we're interested in testing indirect effects or mediated effects, which here are given as the product of the A and B coefficients in this model. That's the indirect effect from X to Y via M is given as the product of A times B. And so we can output that again by clicking here and then going to indirect effects. Those appear at the bottom with a standard error, z-statistic, p-value, and also the standardized estimates is automatically provided. You can see here, based on this test of significance that uses the standard error, there would be a significant indirect effect with a p-value smaller than 0.0001. Now, some people prefer Bootstrap confidence intervals to test the indirect effect, and those can also be obtained in JMP. For that, we go to structural equation models at the top, and then inference, Bootstrap inference. Here you can select which aspects of the model you want to bootstrap. Fit indices in this case we don't need because they're not relevant. Also, we don't need those for all parameter estimates. We really only need them for the indirect effect. So I'm going to select that. You can see that we can set the alpha level for confidence intervals. The default is an alpha level of 0.05, resulting in 95% confidence intervals. We can select the number of Bootstrap samples. 1000 should be enough. You could select a random starting number here if you like for the random seed, but you don't have to do that. And you can choose between bias-corrected Bootstrap and Bollenstein Bootstrap. In this case, I'm going to go with a bias-corrected Bootstrap. So I'm going to click OK. And so then the Bootstrap is performed. By jump, we get all the estimates from all 1000 Bootstrap samples here in the table. The first row gives the actual estimate based on the actual data. All other rows give Bootstrap estimates. And you can see you have 1001 rows here. And so you could then plot the distribution of the indirect effect. If you like, you could use these estimates to obtain the Bootstrap distribution. So if we don't need that, we can just simply close this window. And in this case, I'm not going to save those results because they are summarized here at the bottom. And that's enough for me. So under Bootstrap inference, you can get the bias-corrected confidence intervals. They're based on 1000 Bootstrap samples. The mean estimate was negative 0.0845. Standard error based on bootstrapping is 0.0065. And the 95% confidence interval here does not include 0, indicating that the indirect effect is significant also at the 0.05 level based on bias-corrected Bootstrap confidence intervals. So those are the options pretty much for indirect effects and statistical mediation. You find additional output options here when you go back to that specific model. You can see you can also look at specific indirect effects. You can look at total effects. For more complex models, you can look at additional fit statistics, and all kinds of other output. R squared could also be printed for the dependent variables. So this is a very comprehensive module for mediation analysis, path analysis, and general structural equation modeling. I hope you found this useful. My name is Christian Geiser, and I'll see you in the next video.